Hi, this is Tim Cant for Native Instruments, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create an Outrun-style dance track using Complete, focusing on Analog Dreams, a KONTAKT expansion inspired by 80s synth pop, soundtracks and video games. Analog Dreams features meticulously recorded samples from classic hardware, given a new school twist thanks to KONTAKT 6's powerful processing. We start with a simple 606 bass beat created in Battery, comprising kick, snare and hi-hat parts. This is led with an 808 clap to provide more rhythmic interest. We also add a snare and tom fill from Abbey Road 80s drummer to give the beats a touch of live sound. These are routed through a bus with a VC2A on it to glue everything together. The first musical element we're going to create is a sequenced 16th note synth bass using the Film School preset in Analog Dreams bass folder. Each patch is based around two sample sources, the balance of which can be set with the Blend AB knob. We're going to turn it all the way down, so we're just hearing slot A. We turn down the release, filter controls and effects to tighten up the sound, so that it really drives the track. To get a grittier feel, we use dirt distortion, which saturates the sound. We'll also use passive EQ to take off a little of the low end. To provide low end, we're going to use the How Does It Feel patch from the bass folder. We use this to double the existing bass line, but this time we'll use an octave skipping 8th note rhythm, much like New Order's Blue Monday. This part is very bassy, so we use passive EQ to cut the low end very slightly. The Synth Lead comprises 3 patches, a low brass, a high brass and a pluck. The low brass is the Space Gun lead from the Leads folder. We've turned up the filters to make the sound fuller and turned down the effects so we can use our choice of reverb. To add KONTAKT 6's new Hall reverb, we click the Edit Mode button, then click the Insert Effects tab. We select Reverb Effects, Reverb, then change the reverb algorithm to Hall. To prevent the reverb from obscuring the dry signal, we turn down its wet level to -8 or so. We run this patch through Driver and Choral to give it more grit and glossy stereo width. To create the high brass, we use the Weirder Stuff patch from the Leads menu. We'll use Edit Mode to add the same reverb effect as we did with the low brass sound, but this time we'll use the default room reverb algorithm. We add Driver to bring out those vintage harmonics, helping the sound sit with the low brass. The final part of the lead sound is the B square patch from the bass menu. This time we're going to use KONTAKT 6's new delay, Replica. We'll set this to about 430 milliseconds and turn down the wet signal to about -8 to make the effect less messy. To make a staccato pluck, we'll use the Big Ladder patch from the bass folder. We'll add KONTAKT 6's new plate reverb effect to give the patch a lush tail. Phased Planet from the pad folder is the source for our intro chords. Later in the track, we use this patch to play broken chords on a higher octave to create a middle 8 style section. Here we've also used Barely There from the Leads folder to create a polysynth part, which we've added our own character to by adding the new cry-wah stomp effect. We've assigned a MIDI continuous controller to the pedal parameter so we can control its movement via MIDI. All the instruments are routed through a bus with an instance of solid dynamics on it, the sidechain of which is triggered from a copy of the kick drum. This helps the kick and snare punch through the mix. For the final touch, we've added some impact effects from sounds.com.